Welcome to a new video in my home automation series, and today I'm going to show you a new semi-smart product, which is a Zigbee touchscreen. A very interesting device because I have seen touch screen light switches before, but I don't think that I have seen one in Zigbee, and I was especially interested in this device to understand how it combines all these rich screen features with the relatively limited functionality that is available in Zigbee. I mean, obviously, you can have some settings that you can push through Zigbee, but for example, I haven't seen any ways how you can, change text in Zigbee and then change icons and, how that works. So I'm going to show you that. But basically what this light switch does, it's a 2-gang light switch. So you can have two different lights that you can turn on and off, and then when you move your hand to the screen, it switches to this screen where you can specify the name of both of these lights, and also you can add an icon to both of the lights or both of the outputs, and you can only choose from a list of different icons. And now you can see I changed the ceiling icon to represent more like a ceiling light. You also have a screen. If you swipe left, you have like a standby screen, which shows the time, it shows the weather icon, and it also shows the power consumption, because this device also measures the power consumption across these two outputs. It does combine the power consumption, so you can't really tell how much was consumed by output 1 or 2. So that's the limitation you have. And when you are on this screen, you can also swipe from the top, and you have a very few, you have some limited configuration options. So you can reset the device if you want to pair it to a different Zigbee network. You can select those icons that you can also select from the Tuya app. And also you can, check the firmware and some energy statistics, which just shows you the live data. So it doesn't do an awful lot more. Oops, no. I don't want to do that. Yeah. So you have these two screens, and what you can also control is that how long the device stays on this screen. Whenever you approach the switch with your hand, then it changes to this control screen where you can control the outputs. And then if you just leave it, it goes back to the standby screen where it shows the time and also the weather icon. And again, there is a turn off time where that screen or this screen is going to blank to complete darkness, and then basically the touch screen is going to turn off. So you can control this timeout. You can also control the backlight, and once we go into the Tuya app and once we go into the automation features or the scene features, you would be able to see that you can also control this with scenes. So you would be able to control that, let's say the screen should be dimmer overnight, or maybe the timeout should be different during the day or during the nighttime, which I think there are some really nice features. So as you can see, the screen is now standby, and if I get my hand close to it, then it switches to this control screen. One more function that I wanted to add, if you swipe to the standby screen, you can swipe again left, and there are 4 different background images that you can choose from, and then the device would remember which one you have chosen and that. Couple of other things that I noticed, that obviously the time and the date and the weather icon is something that comes on automatically once you link it to the Tuya app, because this is was designed for Tuya. So I would assume that it takes your local information, your weather information, and how you set the time format and the date format in the Tuya app, and it would match that on the settings. So you don't have to set that so you don't have to set that for each of the device separately. It just happens automatically as soon as you do that. So one other thing that I was really interested in is how this works in systems other than the Tuya, because obviously it is designed for Tuya, so they pushed all the functionality in. But let's say if you use Zigbee2MQTT, you would be able to access all this functionality. The answer is no at the moment, because there is no Zigbee2MQTT support for this device at the moment. I checked, you can see that at the end of the video. So I think we have to wait maybe a couple of weeks, maybe a month, for the support for Zigbee2MQTT to be released, and we should be able to see how you can do this from a DIY system. I am assuming that you would be able to still control what name you give to each of the outputs, outputs and then probably the icon as well. And all the settings that are available in Tuya somehow would be implemented in Zigbee2MQTT as well. That's at least what I'm hoping for. Again, one more thing that I also forget to mention, probably is going to be in the key features in the beginning of the video. Although this is like a US format light, it actually operates on universal voltage. So if this is something that you want to use in Europe, you can definitely do that. Obviously, you have to change the wall fixture. So it's not the standard European sort of like wall socket, but this more rectangular US type. But you can run it for 240 volts like I'm doing it right now, and it works. And of course, there is like a front bezel that you remove, and that's how you get access to the screws, and that's how you mount it. And once everything is mounted, you just prop this front screen on, and then you're ready to go. So in this video, I'm going to show you how it works in the Tuya. I'm going to do a little bit more on the different screens and the wiring. There is not an awful lot to tell about those. And yeah, that's it. Also, let me show you on the back how you wire this up. It is really, really easy. And as you can see, you only have 5 connections, and you have the neutral and the live. So that's where you connect your fixed power. And as you can see, the input voltage can be anything from 100 to 240 volts. So even though this is like a US tile, or the US, well, it's a US tile plug, I can use it in Europe as well if I want to do that, because it works on 240 volts and it is hooked up to 240 volts at the moment. We have an earth connection in the middle, and we have the live 1 and the live 2. Those are the 2 outputs, which then is going to go to the lights as you would wire up a normal switch as well. So obviously it needs the neutral wire, and you can see also the power ratings in the back as well. So 600 watts for incandescent light, 200 for fluorescent, and 200 for LEDs. And in the Tuya application, I used my M1 Pro hub for this device, but you can use any Zigbee hub. This is the most recent one that I reviewed, so I was using that. As you can see, this 2-gang screen switch is connected to that. And if I select it, this is the main screen that we get. Initially, there was a prompt here on the top of the screen which says if you long press any of the gangs, you can change the name. So you can change the name of that gang to, let's say, reading light or ceiling light. I think this is what the other example I have. And you have these light faces that you can select from. So different illustration of various, wall lights, bulbs, pendant lights. And I think there are a couple of others as well, like fans or other. So if you want to control, hook up something else, but I mean, most probably it's going to be some sort of light. So you can change the name, and obviously once you do that, then it automatically updates on the screen, and you can use these 2 buttons to operate the lights. And as I said, the reading light has a auto off feature just for testing. You have a couple of options here, auto, so on off, to turn both of the outputs on and off. And then you have the usual suspects, like you can create schedules, on which days you want any of the lights to be turned on or off. Again, it says open close, but that basically means on and off. You can specify days of the week and the time, or you can do like a circle. It's like an on-off cycle, or you can do a random as well. So again, specify a start and end time, and it's going to turn the lights on in that period, but not exactly on those hours. So it creates a bit of a randomization in this. And you can create multiple of these. And you have the other option, which is this hourglass icon. And you can do a countdown. So if you turned any of the outputs on, you can create a one-off timer. Or what I have done, I can create a delayed, so delayed shut, that's what it's called. So on the reading light, it turns off after 5 seconds. And obviously you can, do these many minutes. So like you have it installed in one of the light controls, the lights in a pantry, you can have it to automatically turn off after 15 minutes. So most probably, you go in, you turn the lights on, and then you leave, and just make sure that the light doesn't stay on for more than 5, 15, 10 minutes, whatever you want. So, and you can also turn this off. and now it's going to operate just like a regular light. So the functions are very versatile, but it does have all the basic functions that you would expect. And then in the settings, you have a couple of more basically settings. You have a switch log, you have a status. So that is the power on status for all the relays. So when the power comes back on, both of the outputs will be off. You can control the backlight, so the illumination of the screen. You have a radar sensing, basically short, medium, or long. So that's how far away the switch is going to detect that you are approaching the switch, so it's going to turn off. So maybe in some cases, if it's on a corridor and it's annoying that it switches on every time you pass by, you can move it to a shorter distance. In other cases, maybe you can change it to long. I left it to medium, and I have the screen off time, which means that once it switches back to this standby screen, how long after it completely turns off. So you can have it to none, which means that this standby screen with a clock is going to be on all the time, or you turn it off and or you set any of these times, and then the screen is going to blank after, well, in my case, it's going to be 30 seconds. So it's on the control screen, and then after some time, which you cannot configure, it switches back to the standby screen, and then it goes off. And you have the radar switch. So if you don't want that, you can turn it completely off. Then you have to touch the screen in order to go to the control screen. And you also have this child lock. You can read on the screen what it does. But just the basic features. And of course, it shows the electricity consumption here. And as you can see, there is no separate consumption for the two gangs. So it's both of the gangs together, but you get the usual statistics of, monthly, yearly statistics that you can get out of the system. There is no export functionality, so you have to read everything, all the data off the screen. But at least it does this measurement, so you can somehow control or somewhat control how much energy the device uses over time. And with this, the features of this device is complete. What I want to do is go back to scenes and then a plus and create a scene. And then when the device status changes, a single device, obviously I would be able to create a scene whenever either the reading light or the ceiling light gets turned on or off, either manually or some other way. And I also have options to create something when the current, the power, or the voltage exceeds or goes below certain values. And you also have some of the other things, like if you change the backlight, that's fine. You can do something. I don't think that that's something that you would really use, or the screen off time, or the switch. Interestingly, there is a switch one and the switch two, but there is like a reading light one and reading light, ceiling light as well. So I'm not really sure why they have a separate one. To be honest, what I would use for this device is the first two, and then probably power or maybe voltage as well, if you want to create any scenes. But if we go back and let's see what we can do with this device. So if I set it, the trigger to tap to launch, and if I add the task, so select a device to do something, I can definitely change the outputs to be on and off or just reverse. So that's fine. But you can also control the backlight from here. So there is nothing in the app which would allow you to dim the lights during the night, but you can create a smart scene and then say that the smart scene triggers 6 p.m. or whatever, and it sets the backlight to, let's say, 45% or 26%. And then you create another scene which says if it's 6 a.m., then it puts the backlight all the way to 100%. So that's how you would be able to create a dimmer scene for the backlight during the evening hours. And of course, you can have some of these devices to adapt these adaptive backlights. The others can just stay in 100%. And you can even create scenes to control the radar sensing zone, if that's something that you want to be able to control based on the scene, or the screen of time. So that's something that's also possible. So maybe in the bedroom, you want the screen of time to be none during the day. So you can see the time 24, basically all the time. But once you go to bed, then you change the screen of time to 10 seconds. So it's not going to give off an illumination. And maybe you can combine that with the backlight as well. I do like the fact that they added these two features, because even though it's not part of the standard functionality, like you don't have these kind of thing in the settings, but you can easily create a scene to do that. And just wanted to show you that I tried setting this up in the Zigbee2MQTT, which I also updated to the latest version. So I think at the moment we are at 2.13. And I did run the update and it did restart. So it is the current version, it looks like at the moment. And unfortunately, it is not, it is not supported yet, but interestingly, it is showing up as a 24 gigahertz millimeter wave radar sensor, as you can see it here. So it thinks this is ZPSZ1, but it is clearly not. And it exposes all the sort of like the motion sensor part of it, which it certainly has, because probably it uses that type of sensor to detect whether you are getting close to the sensor. So it needs to turn the screen on or not. But the rest of the functionality is not implemented yet, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be coming, so I will keep an eye on this. But that's what we have at the moment. So if you want to use it for Zigbee MQTT, you probably have to wait a little longer for that. So that's pretty much concludes the review of this product. If you are interested, there will be affiliated links down in the video description below, so you would be able to purchase this model. If a new European version comes out, I will make sure that I have a review on that, because I think it's a quite nice product. It's also quite a unique product. It's very easy to set up, and I think it's fairly stylish and the features are very useful. So I would like to see that in the European sort of like square version as well. But we are stuck with this US version for the time being, but this is still usable in Europe. As I said, it's universal voltage. So you can definitely choose and then buy this one as well. So that was all for today. Thanks for watching, and hopefully see you next one.